today's lesson, you're going to learn how to use yiban to ask a question about when somebody usually does something. 好的, let's get started. Now, before we can really ask this question, you have to know how to ask what time somebody does something, or ask the time. So we have here 几点钟,几点钟. Ji is the question word. It means how many. So 几点钟, it's asking which hour. So if it's 1 o'clock, you'd say 一点钟, 2点钟, 3点钟. If you need a little help with the time, go back and watch the video on telling time in Chinese. So this is the question that we use today. 几点钟? So here's the whole question. 你一般几点钟 And the space is here because we can ask this question of any activity that we do. So on the line, we put our activity. 好的, so 你 is you. 一般 usually. 几点钟 roughly what time. And then whatever our activity is. So let's take a look at some activities and ask the question and answer it. So here we have an activity, 起床. 起床, this is to wake up. Wake up. 你一般几点钟起床? 跟我说你一般几点钟起床? So when we answer this question, two things are going to change. Instead of our question here, 几点钟, we're going to put the time. And if the question's asking 你, then when we answer it, we need to change that to 我. So 我一般 Here you put whatever time that is, and then 起床. So I can say 我一般6点半6点半起床. 我一般6点半起床. So I usually wake up at 6:30. 好的. Let's take a look at our next example. Our next activity is 吃晚饭. 跟我说吃晚饭. And that, of course, is to eat dinner. So how do you ask somebody what time they usually have dinner? I'll give you a second before I write it down here. 很好，跟我说，你一般几点钟吃晚饭？你一般几点钟吃晚饭？ So take a second and answer that question. 很好，我一般 whatever time 吃晚饭。我一般6点钟吃晚饭。我一般5点钟吃晚饭。很好。One last example. Our last activity is 睡觉。跟我说睡觉。So take a second and ask the question. 你一般几点钟睡觉？你一般几点钟睡觉？很好，take a minute and answer it. 我一般10点半睡觉。我一般10点半睡觉。你呢？你一般几点钟睡觉？ Well, that is about all for this lesson. 谢谢收听，下次再见。